Welcome to the doghouse. I hope you're all having a great day today. I am, even though tragedy has struck. My sister in Hastings, Florida, has just passed away. I do wish I would have got to see her more, but living in Idaho and her in Florida is don't get to see a lot of her. I would call her now and then, but it's been years since I've seen her. Her passing does hit a strings in my heart. She would have been 85 in on Valentine's Day. She didn't live the she kind of lived a rough life as we did, but we had love, and there is a difference there. She was married to a potato farmer, had his own ground in that. Later on, they lost it because other things come up with other people. Well, eventually they got a divorce. She moved to Florida, Hastings, Florida, and he stuck around here. They were never one to hate each other. They just didn't do that. And they're looking to get her back here eventually and bury her up in Ashton, Idaho, by her ex-husband and three of her children that has preceded her in death. So they're all together. The sad thing is, you never want to see somebody pass away. Yeah, she's 85, but you still don't want to see it. You want her here so you know her. She is here, as any sibling would, or most siblings. The good thing is, she is going to be with mom and dad. Out of mom's 10 kids, dad had two before. I've lost both my half brother and half sister to age mostly. I've lost my oldest full brother to a heart attack, and the two sisters I have lost has been because of a stroke. But they live a fine life. They're in their 80s, both the ladies. My Irene was in her was like I said 85 and passed away. So she didn't live a bad life as far as living goes. But she had her problems. She couldn't come out here like she'd like to. And financially, we couldn't go there either. She had problems with her legs where the doctors told her because of the compression in an airplane she could not fly because she could very well cause her own death. Now, she could have drove out here, or she couldn't. She don't drive anymore. But the problem with that, she would have had to stop every so often, and it would have taken a couple, 3 extra days to get here. And her health wouldn't have. She could have, but her health was better off if she didn't. Now our family, like I said, it's a big family, but it don't matter. When you lose somebody, you lose them. I would have loved to have gone down to Hastings and visited with her. It's been a lot of years since I've seen her, and my communication with her has been over the phone. But that is better than nothing, I guess. But like I said, they're trying to get her here. Her ex sister-in-law and a couple of others are trying to work something out. But it's a weekend, so and she passed away Saturday, so they're working on that. I have her two daughters live in Hennessy, Georgia. I've I've talked to the one's daughter. this morning when she called me, but I haven't talked to the other niece I have. Unfortunately, my one niece was on the way down there when they found the half. Our stepson found her on the floor. Then my niece was already on the way down the one, and she got to be with her. I'm sorry. At least she did not die alone. Her daughter was there to be with her. Now, she did live alone, but there was always somebody around that made sure she was okay. So even though she lived alone, she was never alone. It's hard to look back on family members when they pass away. And I'm grateful that she'll get to see mom and dad. And that's a very, very big part of life. Yeah, I felt the same way about my other brothers and sisters that have passed. I love them all, and I always will, as most families do. Whether you're one, two, three, or 10 siblings like us, it don't matter. It's that you're there for them. If you can't be there physically, mentally, in your heart, you can be there for them. Now, I don't know how long it'll take them to get her back here or when, but that is something her kids will have to take care of. They may be in Hennessy, Georgia, but that ain't too far away. At least for the kids, it's not too far away. It's going to be a long journey for them too. And one's name's Paula. Her daughter is the one that talked to me or this morning. And actually, my sister Irene pretty much raised that kid, lived with her and the whole bit, and was there for her. And she was taking it hard. Probably harder than anybody else, really. But life, and this isn't ignorance, but life moves on. But you remember the past, and I will always hold them close to my heart. Every one of them that has passed. We all have to buck up, I guess, and move forward, which I plan on doing. Life's not all that great at times, but we go forward and love life anyway. I lost my brother in law on my wife's side of the family a couple of months ago, and now this, and there'll be others down the road too. I realize that. But you have to keep their memories and what you remember them, even if they're alive, the good things that have happened to you because of them, and vice versa. Yeah, we would have been, if we lived close together, we probably would have been pretty close. We were close, but it would have been better for both of us in the sense that we would have been together, but I realized why she was there and why I'm where I'm at. And that's just life. You got to live with that and deal with that on a constant basis. I'm not on here to get pity. I'm just here to tell you what is going on in my life. I don't have to say nothing on here. I'm not on here to get a lot of views or nothing. I'm on here because I want to be on here. And I'm going to be up front with things that go on. And dad and mom raised us really good. I don't care what people may think because there was a lot of us. But when you can raise mom 10 and dad's two others, but when you can raise kids and nobody's ever been to prison and only a couple of them has made it to the jailhouse without passing go a couple of times, but that was far and few in between and very little time spent. That shows you when you have good parents what can happen. Nobody tell me you don't have good parents because there's that many kids. That is a lie. Now, I wouldn't want that many even if I was younger, but they choose that path. I choose to love my family. Some of them, like my sister, I don't get to talk to a lot because they're not close by, and I don't get the time to spend with them. It's called the phone, and you can talk to them. My sister, to me, was a really good person. She had her faults, obviously, as I do, but you have to stand up and be with family when they're in need. Don't ever take a back seat to anyone when it comes to your family. Be grateful for your family and your siblings. Yeah, there's times you don't get along with them or even see them really, but you know they're there and they love you as much as you love them. Now, my one great niece and my two nieces that live in Hennessy, I don't know sure where my great niece lives at that I talked to this morning, but my two nieces in Hennessy, Georgia, is going to have a hard time coping also because they really love their mom and they've gone down the wrong path in life or corrected themselves at some point, which is good, but they are going to have a hard time just overall, and my prayers go out to them. She has a son that lives in Twin Falls, Idaho. He's probably coping a little bit too with that. You know, we all will pass it sometimes. It does not make it easy. Never close your heart to a family member at any time. Even if they're not on this earth, remember them. I look at it as her journey is back to mom and dad. Her life on this earth was fulfilled by God and took her home. Deep down inside me, I know God's got more work and more plans for me. So I got a ways to go. No, I don't think I'm going to die tomorrow or anything. I think His plan is for me to go forward and do other things that need done. And every one of us is like that. That's why I think you get age difference. When your time comes, it's because you fulfill what you're here for. If not, You have to go forward, press forward, and enjoy life and the love around you because you have not accomplished what it takes to get back home. That's not that you failed, it's just not that time. And I sure hope everybody back in Florida and relatives give her the best funeral they can. Like I said, they're working on getting her back to be with her kids, which obviously I will be there for them. But when you lose somebody, you lose part of in your heart. I remember when mom was put, well, it wasn't really a rest home, but she was in like a life care thing because they knew with her B cell cancer, and she died at 96. With her B cell cancer, she could go at any time. And we thought probably 5 or 6 times she was gone, but come back. And that is like experiencing death 5 or 6 times. And it really is. Where hers wasn't immediate, but it was quick. She had fallen, maybe it was a stroke. Nobody knows for sure at this point. They got her in the hospital, and then she passed of a stroke there. On in my heart, I think she had 2 strokes. Unfortunately, once she was admitted to the hospital, she was admitted under her ex-husband's name that had been dead, and they hadn't been together for years, but she used that last name, and for whatever reason, that's the name they used, not the name she was on her last name. But life's short. We all need to sit down and look at where we are and where we're going. Fight for what is right. Be loving and caring to people around you as much as you can, because when you close out people, siblings, cousins, it don't matter. You're closing out part of your life. Regardless if they're close or far away, we need to be there. We don't need to be causing problems with our own families. Yes, that happens, and we see it all the time, and most people see it all the time. But when that life is no longer here, there still will be a void in your heart if you do not get along or hate that person. That it's not like you're going to go say, "Well, that's okay. It's my sister or my brother. I'll move on." Yes, you'll move on, but part of you dies with that person, and you have to just go forward. I'm not here crying about her death or saying I'm not as better well off now as I was. I will move forward. I'm just as well off. But that peace in your heart over a sibling will never leave. I still remember the ones that have passed before me. I will never forget them. I will always remember them and what they did. Unfortunately, sometimes because of life, you don't get to spend as much time around them as you'd like. My prayers go out for my niece and nephew, or my nieces and my nephew, that their mom has passed, and my great niece, her sorrow she has this day. They all deserve love and cherish of their mother and their grandmother that they will stand up and be with her in heart and soul. And one day they will, when the time comes, go and be with their mother and father. And until that time, you just do press forward. And I got a long ways to go, in my opinion, because of things I need to accomplish and do. And her kids are the same way that are left here. They've lost, I think she's lost four out of the seven now, and their dad and now their mom. That's heartbreaking for them, but they got to know they need to press forward and show their love for their mom and do what is right. I show the love for my sister in and out. I show the love she needs, and I thank her for being my sister. I just wish that I could have put my arms around her and tell her, I love you.